like again, like we've discussed in the past, just trying to make it look a little bit longer.
Exactly, and also to connect the whole thing. And if you notice, that draws the line basically. So you go up to the top of the engine. The top of the engine is now connected to that pointy bit sticking out of the front. It's not just a pointy bit stuck on anymore. It's actually part of the ship.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. All right. So you're talking about the antenna sort of area?
Yep. And now I'm actually wedging up the front. One thing people notice a lot of times is that I don't do wedges how people normally do wedges. I do the wedges in such a way that it makes the ship, and it kind of, you have to kind of feel your way through. It depends on the ship and what exactly you're trying to accomplish.
Right. And I just realized why I've been lagging so badly. My computer wants to do updates. Yay!
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, I thought I turned those off. Alright.
You have to kind of pick and choose where horizontal wedges are going to lie as opposed to
Alright, yeah.
kind of like up down.
So we can look here. And alternating them along kind of like the same line or the same plane. That does give it kind of an interesting effect.
It looks mean.
Yeah, it does. It does. Interesting note here. Between the black center line and the black outer line, there are three, count them, three lines of white hull. So just a thought. That's all it was. Now I know a lot of people tend to really, I mean, especially coming from Minecraft, you know, you don't get wedges. So then
Nope.
they use wedges on everything. Um, so like where you're leaving these, you know, the three that you threw down on the sides of the ship, and then showing the white regular blocks. You know, that's something that works really well. And
Yeah,
I
hard
know,
angles are always difficult to achieve correctly too. You got people, then you have the opposite extreme. You know, you have really bad looking angles, I guess, if you will.
yeah, where it's too much. There's just not enough smoothing. Now, are you working on the top now? Is that what I'm saying?
Kind of in the engines in the top, kind of all over the place
Okay.
right now. Just kind of.
Trying to catch Dalmont on camera is nearly impossible as he builds. It's like trying to hunt Sasquatch. Not calling you a Sasquatch, just kind of saying.
I am pretty hairy for those
Yeah.
interested parties.
Don't worry, so am I. It's okay.
Nothing
Military
wrong with
life
that.
is it's called being a wolfman.
Oh yeah, I think my buddy in the Marines. The first thing they asked him when he walked in the shower is, "How okay are you with full frontal nudity?" And he just kind of looked at him. Uh, I'm good, Sergeant.
Yeah, I will say, you know, the worst part is, you know, you got to have your collar, you know, up to your collar shaved, so there can't be any hair until underneath your collar. And for me, that was a pain. Like I'd have to shave like 2 or 3 times a day
Oh yeah,
sometimes, like on a 12-hour shift. That was not fun. But I
that's gonna do
digress.
that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here we go. We're staggering some of these blocks here to kind of give a little bit different depth feel, I suppose would be a way to say it.
Yep, and people get intimidated by curves because it's a block-based game. Don't get intimidated by curves. Make curves. You're not gonna get anywhere by thinking that you're not gonna be able to do it. So go forth and do it. Neat little trick. If you come to the back of the ship.
All
Now
right.
I've taken off. I'll put some ice crystals right where you need to look. There you go, right there.
Okay, I'm looking.
Now, if you look in there, you have that gap, right? Now, how am I going to
Right.
make that? But if I put this here, at one block, it looks too square. It doesn't work
Right.
for me. So how am I going to make that work?
I would assume wedges?
Oh yes. Oh yes. But not just any wedge. Boom.
Okay.
It
Alright.
actually, see how that covers in the other half of the hole?
Right,
So
right.
wedge on wedge, you can actually make, in a vertical space, a perfect square out of wedges only.
Right. Okay, good to know.
Another thing back here is that you'll see how the black just kind of stops. You don't want that.
Right.
So we're going to
Okay.
connect it.
Okay. So little things like that. And then it... Alright, so now it's starting to look like vertebra.
Precisely.
So you take the phrase spine of the ship literally if you want to.
Ooh. It kind of makes this thing look way more intimidating than it is when you think of
It
it that way.
does. Yeah. It's a skeleton. Alright, yeah, I can see shadows moving up front, so I'm gonna move up front. Alright, so we got all these wedges here. Trying to make those lines quite interesting. Alright. Anywhere else in particular I need to be looking?
I am making a slight improvement to the nose cone.
Okay.
Well, nose cone. Yeah, I guess that's the technical term.
Yeah, why not? It's enough that you understand what the heck you're talking about, so it's good to know. Yeah, so if you guys remember, not too long ago, this thing looked a little stubby, but I mean, from here it's looking pretty lean and mean now. And that's, I mean, there's not been any dimension change. That's just detailing.
90% of the time I spend with my ships is detailing. 90%.
Alright, well, I know a lot of us, I mean, I don't build this nice of stuff, period. I mean, and the fact that you just whipped this out in the last, what, 30 minutes?
Not even, I don't think, at this point.
Probably 25, 30 minutes, I'm guessing. Well, maybe not even that, no. I mean, yeah, part of it is practice. Part of it, I'm guessing, and I don't want to throw words in your mouth, and I'm not trying to. I mean, that's kind of the whole point, is not to, but would I be correct in at least saying that part of it is failing? Because you got to do things wrong for a while?
Miserably failing and stealing other people's stuff. Oh, all the time. All the time. I always try and give credit to the people whose ideas are particularly unique, but you as a person really are kind of the amalgamation of everything you've ever seen before in your life. I mean, for God's sakes, this thing does look a little bit like a Sith infiltrator. I mean, we're getting away from it, but originally, that's what it was. And you building on that, you kind of, but you do that and you don't even think about it, I wasn't thinking Sith infiltrator, I was thinking spaceship. But it comes out because that's something I've seen before. So that's, don't be afraid to rip other people off, because that's all people do. It is the highest form of flattery, and additionally, it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta admit.
Just don't be a dick about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna take something and then change it drastically afterwards, you don't have to necessarily give credit to somebody because it is your individual design. But if you're gonna sit there and pretty much just say, I like that, I'm just straight up stealing that, I'm not gonna change it much, or, I'm not gonna, I mean, give people credit, of course. If you say, like, I really liked Dalmont's engines here, you take those and you might alter them a little bit, I mean, when it comes time to show it off, say, yeah, I saw Dalmont do something like this, I decided to try it out. That's just sort of paying it forward in a way.
Bezer had some good ideas, Rip had some good ideas, you had some good ideas, all of which show up in a couple of my different ships.
I was surprised that you thought I had good ideas, but I'm pleased, but surprised. I don't consider myself that good of a builder, which is part of why I'm doing this.
Don't lie to you.
Don't let him lie to me, I really am not that good of a builder.
Yeah, you think you're sneaky. No, you're not. You're not bad at all, dude.
Yeah.
Granted, what I've seen in my time, and I hate to say that, but my God, people, some I've seen some stuff. I've seen some
Yeah.
stuff, and it's like, you don't have to be great, and I'm not trying to call anybody out, but try something new.
Yeah.
Try something. Don't build a block with stuff in it. And this is my ship, and it is amazing. Her.
Actually, you know what? Just speaking off the cuff for myself, one of the things that bugs me, and I understand a certain amount of, like, if you're gonna do like an SMedit build, I think that that's one. I mean, because SMedit can come up with some really cool stuff, and sometimes it's fun to kind of not to build, your favorite ship from your favorite series. I don't
Exactly.
have a problem with that at all. But I mean, if you're gonna build it accurate, cool, go for it. I mean, make sure you put as much detail in it as you can. And if it's a labor of love, you will. If what you want to do is build an SMedit ship and make it functional, go for it. Not a problem. But still, put some detail into it. But
Yeah, try.
if your whole reasoning, and I know, I've done this to where, I mean, and you know what I'm talking about, where you take a ship, a pre-existing ship, and you make it your own. Well, that doesn't mean slap a few engines in there and call it good. I mean, really come up with something nobody's seen before. If you can, I mean, not that that's going to happen necessarily, but come up with, just play around. I mean, I know, I mean,
I built a Lambda shuttle. you
it
know,
exactly.
but I made it my own. I can take, some credit for the thing because I
Right,
actually made it. It wasn't just a
exactly.
Lambda shuttle. Yeah, it had 3 wings. Yeah, I'm totally saying it was inspired by it, but
But
didn't
it's it,
just
it's the SFW version of the Lambda shuttle, or like
exactly
the
built on that
gunship,
concept.
just like the gunship you did for the competition. I mean, if anybody looked at it, they'd say that is an LAAT, or yeah, LAAT gunship. But at the same time, they'd sit there and go, but you certainly made that your own, you know, personal version of it. Whether that be through coloring, little interior detail work, whatever.
Right.
I think that goes underrated. I mean, it's really cool to build a stock version of your favorite ship, and I don't have a problem with that. Heck, I think that's awesome. But I think that you know a huge part of this game is your own creativity. I mean, just
That's the point of it.
go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, be creative or build things that already exist and build them well because that's awesome and we
Yeah.
love to see that.
Exactly. I mean, I've seen some versions of the Enterprise that are absolutely gorgeous. I've seen some versions of the Enterprise that I'm just sitting there going, so you imported an SMedit model and stuck a cockpit in the front. Congrats.
Yeah, A+
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I mean, whole lot of effort. Awesome. Yeah. And just Raven pro tip, not that I'm a pro, but Raven pro tip. One of the most fun things you can do if you're gonna play around with SMedit, in my opinion, is take there's a hull tool where you can just import a shape for a hull and you can set the width and height and everything. Like that's it's kind of fun to just put a shape in there and then just start building around it. I did that with a sphere at one point because I did not want to have to rebuild a handmade sphere because at a massive handmade sphere would just be not fun.
Incredibly time consuming.
Exactly, and I know you've seen that thing now, and that
It
thing
looks cool.
takes. Yeah, and that will be that. Spoiler alert! That will be being shown here in the next couple of days. As soon as I can get a good test run on it, I will film the test run and show you guys how the game is played. Quite literally.